In this video, I'm going to be sharing exactly how we managed to cut one Corp cost per lead by 78% while 5xing their monthly lead volume in 4 months. And the most interesting thing that happened was that the results were looking so good that Josh, our client, actually had to ask us to scale back down. So you can find here the message. Just want to share because that was an interesting thing that the client messaged us. Hey, I know it's inconvenient, but can we please bring the ad spend down to $100 a day because our sales team is inundated with leads to follow up and they need some time to catch up. They're currently recruiting to expand the sales team, et cetera, et cetera. So that was something interesting that we got from the client. Definitely a good problem. But I want to jump into this case study just to go a little bit more into detail so you can get value out of it. So One Corp is really a business in Australia that helps Australians to build wealth through property investment. Their offer is high ticket, so every single lead matters. So ultimately is that classic funnel of sending people to a quiz. From the quiz, they then book a call, and obviously some leads will be qualified and others won't. The problem, which is the part that I think that you'll be able to relate with the most. So when Josh reached out, this is what the business looked like. So cost per lead increased to $94 per lead, making profitable scaling impossible. The creatives also burned out with no system in place to replace them. I believe this is probably the most relatable problem that every single business owner has, because I see that the most consistently is you can get creatives one day, but then maybe it takes you 2 more months to get more creatives, and you don't really know what to do, you don't know what to prepare, you don't know what's working, etc. You don't know how to come up with ideas even. Leads coming through were inconsistent, with the sales team wasting time on unqualified calls. Obviously, a very important part as well of getting calls booked. It's not just any call, it's qualified leads. No clear testing framework running on all ads and gut instinct, and he was managing the ads himself. Also, he couldn't scale profitably. What he told me on the first call was specifically, I want to scale to 1,000 a day in ad spend and flood my sales team with qualified leads. So this is them before working with us, just for full transparency. And I just want to share what happened after, actually, what are the results, so I can then share exactly the month-to-month plan. So 78% CPL reduction. We managed to drop cost per lead from 94 to 20, 537% lead increase, managed to increase the amount of leads per month by from 165 to 1,051. Increase the ad spend as well. You'll see that the ad spend actually went down and went up through the story, which I'll be able to share. But when he started, it was at 15,000, and we took it all the way to 21,000. And the leads 200, that was the highest amount of leads, 264 leads in 77 days. Sorry, and you can see here what Josh said. So again, the good problem, right? When we talked about that he has so many leads that he couldn't keep up, this is what he said. I understand. Unfortunately, this is what we need to do so our sales team can catch up. It gives them a kick in the butt to ensure that we have systems in place to scale better. And he said that it made for a great testimonial, and I hope that it did. So just want to share a little bit about our approach, like our secret sauce here on what are some of the systems that we implement into our clients. So the first thing is the winner creative accelerator. So creative burnout with no way out of it was a problem. So then we introduced our structured testing system that identifies winning ad concepts in weeks, not months. Rather than guessing, we control tests across multiple scripts, angles, and hooks simultaneously with clear performance thresholds that tell us exactly what to scale and what to cut. In short, this is kind of how it looks like. Okay, one thing that's important that I can already share, just to give you some value, is we like to. It depends on the client, of course, but a great way to test messaging principles is to just pump out a bunch of statics. Then once you have an understanding of what works, you can then do the format forging, which is to kind of make sure that you go into other formats like carousels, videos. Obviously, in this industry, videos, it is what tends to perform the best, so we also like to stick to that. Lastly, phase number 2, we then have the high intent audience targeting system. So we also noticed that a lot of people forget about audiences. They just do broad campaigns and hope for the best. But our targeting system actually maps out multiple audience segments in parallel, so that as you scale, no single audience gets saturated. And we focus on the audiences that are performing the best. Okay. And then also something that's really, really important, which I really think it made a huge difference in this specific case study, is the qualified lead nurturing system. So it's not just about getting the call booked. It's about making sure, what we can do, we do our best to make sure that we help our clients to make sure that the people that go on the call, they're already pre-sold before going to the call. So volume is worthless if your sales team is wasting time on bad calls. So we tightened the qualification process so only high intent prospects come through, and then also built a retargeting sequence so that we educate leads before they even go on the call by showing them different sort of triggers with a sort of specific sequence of videos that we show. So then before the call, they're pretty much pre-sold. Okay. And again, you can see here that Josh reported higher show up and close rates almost immediately ever since we implemented that. Now, very quickly, the 4-month journey. This is where they started. By week 3, we found our creative winner. Month 2, this is when we achieve peak performance, so we managed to scale lower cost per lead, and that was the time that really Josh mentioned that we needed to bring the ad spend down back to $100 a day because the team was struggling to catch up. From there, we then lowered. Obviously, this helped us to also improve CPL. So we went from 21,000 to around 7.5. With ad spend pool, Josh then expanded his sales team, so we can then scale things back up. And then you can see we scaled from 7.5 to 21,000, 282 leads to 1,051, and also the CPL even improved while scaling. So we more than doubled the ad spend, and we managed to improve the cost per lead. We scaled from 600 to 1,200. CPL hits its lowest point during the entire engagement. Everything compounded, and you can see Josh was extremely happy. Cost per lead is crazy good at the moment. Our sales team is back on Monday, so we can start to increase. So that's pretty much where we were. And now I just want to ask you, does any of these sound familiar? Like, does your cost per lead is at the moment too high for you to scale profitably, or are your creatives completely burning out and you just have no system in place to replace them, or you're getting leads but your sales team is just wasting their time on unqualified calls and it's harder for them to close as well? Or every time you increase the budget, as opposed to the case study that I just share here, your efficiency actually tanks and cost per lead starts to increase. This is exactly what we do. We work with high ticket businesses and consultants who are serious about their growth and ready to build a proper lead generation engine, not just run ads. So with that, I want to invite you to book your first strategy session with us. What you're going to get on the call is a full audit of your current campaigns, creative and funnel. We'll also build a custom roadmap for how we would scale your business. And lastly, whether we work together or not, you'll have specific actions that you can implement immediately so you can improve your cost per lead and get more qualified calls in your calendar. So book that strategy call and I'll see you on the call. Thank you.